It's Santa. Yeah, it's in the middle of the summer, so that's why Daddy's having a little tequila. That's right, Santa Claus is a little drunk. So what? Anywho, broadcasting from their garage in California and Nebraska, the same dudes who brought you the holiday lighting think tank. Sorry. You're listening to the Professional Triers. Vinny's sitting on Santa Claus's lap. Good boy, Vinny. Here's Vinny and JR.
Welcome to another episode of the Professional Triers. Tonight we have a great episode for all you people going to Expo. We have some great info and some history behind it. But before we get into that, let me introduce my very blue co-host today, Vinny.
Matching shirt, hat and shirt match. It's important. You got to wear matching clothes.
Mine do too. See that? I got the new Professional Triers swag.
This is a jersey. This is a jersey matching. That's just fashion.
It's my official uniform for podcasting. So it could be a jersey.
Did you play sports in it?
I took my daughter to swim lessons in it.
I'll call that close enough.
All right. Enough of us screwing around. So tonight we have the people who bring us the Great Christmas Expo, who are sisters in different places.
Yes, we've got Janice, who is from Orlando, and Joyce, who is from Pittsburgh. Hi, ladies.
Hello, ho ho ho.
Hi, Benny. Hi, JR.
How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
It is awesome to have you guys on here with us. And obviously, I mean, the timing is no coincidence. We're going to be heading into Expo soon, right?
Absolutely. 33 days.
You guys are obviously on the countdown.
Yes. How'd you know?
Just like Santa.
Now, are you on the countdown? It was still on the countdown of excitement, or are you yet on the countdown of like, oh, okay, is it going to be over yet?
Oh, we are excited. This is the Christmas season for us.
Awesome.
You know, when everybody else is taking down their lights, we start putting on the Christmas music and getting into it.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
We work hard through the year, but this is our best time because we get to come together with everybody and feel the excitement that everybody else has while they're there.
That's pretty awesome, actually, to be in July and be just excited as it is at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get into the questions now, Vinny?
Yeah. I kind of already mentioned that, Janice, you live in Orlando, and Joyce, you are in Pittsburgh. But tell us, is that where you guys are? Or that's where you guys live now? Is that right?
That's correct. We grew up in Pittsburgh, and then I moved to Orlando actually in the early 80s. So I'm almost a native down here.
You don't want to know what I was doing in the early 80s.
Probably not.
I hadn't been born yet.
All right.
I was going to say you were too young to be doing anything naughty.
Nope, yeah. I wasn't born yet. I wanted to throw that out there. I like to make you feel old. That's all I was trying to do.
Mission accomplished.
Young whippersnappers.
See, I'm just adding I'm working on my naughty list for the year. That's all.
Yeah. So the big question I know a lot of people have is Christmas Expo your full-time career, or is it just additional work for you guys to do?
This is Joyce. I actually own two businesses. One is a corporate trade show and event planning company, and it's the parent company of Christmas Expo. It's something I've been doing for over 25 years. I also own a second business that provides executive management services to nonprofit and for-profit entities. So Christmas Expo is a part of my overall job responsibilities.
Okay.
And for me, Janice, I'm self-employed. I'm a website developer and internet marketer, and I also own the Christmas Light Finder website, so that keeps me busy at Christmas time.
Very cool.
Oh, very cool.
I know my house is on there.
Yay!
Well, actually, that's going to lead me. The next question I'll pick is: do you guys get into the Christmas season like us and our listeners do? Do you guys have a display of any kind?
Absolutely. I actually started decorating outside probably in 2000 and had a small display in my yard and was growing every year. I started entering local contests, and when I won, I was really excited and went out and bought more stuff like we all do. And then I ran out of yard. I started kind of encroaching onto my neighbor's yard. And every year I just kind of expanded into their yard, and now I decorate both yards every year. And I usually put up a Halloween display too.
Very cool.
Sounds like you've got a similar story to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was bitten by the bug. And I was at actually one of the first Christmas expos. It was known as Plus back then, but I was actually there. And that's how I really got into all of this and got into animation too.
You're just like us. You fit in perfectly.
Believe it or not, even though I live in Pittsburgh, have lived in Pittsburgh all of my life, I'm not really crazy about the cold weather. So I'm more of an extreme indoor decorator. And I've got the trees, the ornaments, and more decorations than I can count. So I get into the season, just not outside.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys have families that are into this and help with the Christmas Expo, or is this just the sisters thing?
This is a sisters thing. I'm married, but I have no children. And Janice?
I have a Santa sweetie, but he's really not into into it as much as I am. No children, but we've had various fur kids over the years that have never really liked wearing Santa suits.
So that's where we differ then. So,
who do you dress up?
Well, we've got, our wives that tell us, at some point, okay, enough. And you guys have husbands that tell you, or significant others that tell you.
Exact opposite.
Yeah, okay, that's enough.
And I get to say, don't be telling me that's enough.
See, actually, I'm being contradictory now. My wife doesn't do that at all. I was just using an example of what you normally do. My wife is a problem.
And you will pay for that comment afterwards.
Oh, yes. She will hear it.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Benny's always in trouble on the podcast. My wife is the opposite of a control valve. She says, we've been working on our display for months and months, and it's 3 days before lights go up, and I'm finally feeling like it's all coming together. And she's like, "Oh, you got time? Build something else." Like, no, at some point I got to stop.
You say that like it's a problem.
She's the reason I don't have hair anymore. I pulled it all out. So,
and I may or may not suggest things for Maggie to have Vinny do.
Troublemaker.
Just for fun.
Yes. So let's
somebody
talk
behind the scenes.
Yes, he's the puppet master.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Expo a little bit. Tell us. Let's talk the history first about what Expo is. Sure. We'll kind of talk about this year upcoming, and we'll kind of promote it a little bit with what's kind of exciting. But tell us the history story of Expo. When did it start? How did you guys get involved in it?
Sure. Christmas Expo actually started as PLUS, which stands for Planets Lights Up Christmas. That was a play on Planet Christmas, and it started in 2003. Most everybody knows that Chuck Smith has been a huge decorator, and he started the Planet Christmas website in 1996, and that purpose was to help other decorators learn the tricks of the trade. Then in 2002, someone suggested to him that the decorators would like to get together to talk Christmas lights, and Plus was born. So Plus made its debut in 2003, and it was held every 2 years at that time. But it's evolved into what is now known as Christmas Expo, which was a name that was decided on by the group of Planet Christmas members. So when we took it over, it was Christmas Expo, and our first event was in 2013.
That's very cool. That's to have something with so much history. It's got to be so cool for everybody to come back every year to that.
It's been very exciting for us.
Yeah, and to have somebody who had the vision that long ago of what it could be and what it grew into is just absolutely amazing.
So what was your guys' vision when you took over?
Well, Chuck was looking for someone to take over the expo and kind of help it to grow a little bit. I think he was getting a little tired of all the extra work for himself. Knowing Joyce's extensive experience in event planning, and the kind of the passions for decorating that she and I both have, I called her one day and started the conversation with, remember that conference with all the decorating fanatics? Well, guess what? And then
go ahead.
I was going to say she sort of picked it up from there.
Yeah, and as I examined it and looked at everything that was involved with it, it just looked like a perfect fit for us. So like I said, we acquired it in late 2012 and put on our first expo in Gatlinburg, Tennessee in 2013. But we knew right away that we wanted to change it from the biannual event every other year to an annual event to give people more of an opportunity to learn on an ongoing basis. And that was also when we decided that we would be moving it to different locations every year.
One of the things for me with the event is that I remember that first Plus I went to and how excited I was and just ready to be a sponge and take in all that information. I wanted to make sure that when we put on this show that we can have the same feeling. Everybody that attends have that same feeling. I mean, how cool is it to be able to go to a Christmas conference about decorating, So we want this event to be about the spirit of Christmas, and I think we're trying to do that.
Absolutely. And I think you guys are hitting that nail on the head.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I've been to 3 of expos in the past, and back when I was I didn't know anybody in this hobby. Expo is kind of actually what I think started me in the networking side of this.
Oh, cool.
At that point, I happened to, I think, run across it on Google. And this was funny. My wife's going to hear this episode and she's going to go back with, oh, that is where it all started.
Wow. This is very cool.
All of a sudden, this all of a sudden has now turned into a much different story for me. And I'm going to tell this story that, randomly, I came across the expo information, and this was like early in the year. I found the information. I said, oh, that is great. I totally want to go to that this summer. And then I honestly kind of forgot about it. And I had a friend that hit me up that said, hey, how did that Christmas conference go? And I was like, oh, I totally forgot about it. When is that? And I looked it up, and it happened to be the next weekend. It was in Chicago.
Wow.
It was in Chicago, and I immediately hit up the wife and I said, "We totally forgot about this. I'm going to Chicago next weekend."
Cool.
So I flew up there. I didn't know anyone. I hadn't networked at all, and that is where the bug started for me. Is up there when I started meeting people. I met people like Mike Barsky.
Monstrous Mike.
And Monstrous Mike and I are good friends, and he is to blame for the person I have grown into.
And I'm sure he's proud of that fact too.
I have no clue what his thoughts are on that. He may be
I'm sure once he hears this, he'll be sharing them.
So now that I've said plenty of that, that's my story of how I kind of got into this. But what would you guys say that your success has been making the expo grow into what it has become at this annual event that is such a pivotal part of people's yearly routine? What would you say is your biggest success for that?
I think it's down to enthusiasm. The attendees like myself back in 2005, are excited to